First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well. Salutation to all you Akim out there preaching this truth and sincerity and presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice. On Mashiach, children of the light. Hoping I can edify you all with another lesson. So, earlier in the camp, our camp leader asked, pull up the scriptures about the Antichrist. And before we get there, I pulled up some images, right? Just Google Antichrist, right? And these are some of the images that that you're being fed, right? But the truth of the matter, right? You got your demons and your devils, which they are, right? But you have a lot of over exaggerated imagery, right, to play tricks on the psyche, right, that the Antichrist is going to be this a horn guy, demon with horns coming out of his head, or a giant dragon and all of this, right? But truth be told, the Antichrist can be your brother. The Antichrist can be your mother, your sweet grandmother, your favorite high school teacher, the person at the gas station, the person you ride in the car with right now. They can be, your woman can be the Antichrist. You understand? Your father can be the Antichrist. All of that. Because what does it mean? Antichrist, right? So let's jump into some scripture, right? Because I know some of y'all already like, and what you mean by that? Well, let's get right into it. This is 1 John 2:22. Who is a liar, but he that denieth that Yahweh Shah is the Hamashiach. He is the Antichrist that denieth the Father and the Son. So who is the Antichrist? Anyone that denieth the Father, Yahweh, and his Son, Yahweh Shah, they are the Antichrist. Anybody that's speaking in opposition of these scriptures, of the word, is the Antichrist. Anybody blaspheming the Father and the Son is the Antichrist. And it's just as simple as that, right? Anti means to the opposite, to oppose, right? The complete opposite, right? So, if you're not walking in the path of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, right, you yourself can be the Antichrist, right? All right, let's pull up some more scripture real quick, because it's all gonna circle back. So let's go on 1 John 4. 1 John 4, 1. All right, and let's just take it on down. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, right? And it tells you that in Matthew, right? That Yahweh Shah say many will, in the times of tribulation, many will come claiming to be him, right? Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of God, right? So somebody just coming and talking good to you, don't just take that. Are they living their life according to this word, to these scriptures, right? Are they preaching about Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah? Have they become a new creature in Yahweh Shah? Right? Okay. Because many false prophets are going out into the world, and you see that. You see that with your TD Jakes, with your Pastor Keons. You understand what I'm saying? These guys are not teachers. These guys are not shepherds for the flock. These guys are feeding and graping the flock, taking money from the flock, weakening the flock. The scriptures say, woe unto you, pastor, that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastures, right? Because if you're the head of a church, you're supposed to be blameless. You understand? TDJ's got allegations of being a mole. Pastor Keon preach in opposition of the scriptures all of the time. Scriptures say a woman shouldn't be teaching up there, preaching up there. You understand what I'm saying? You should not add or take away from the word. He does that all of the time. He telling people that you should not give unto other people. people in need, but you should give everything to the church, right? To his pockets, right? So, these are just examples, right? Because many false prophets are going out into the world, and you see that right in Israel. You got these other Israelites, and they selling the truth. They making merchandise of the truth, right? They selling Hebrew names. They selling packets. They got precepts in it. You understand what I'm saying? You're not supposed to sell the truth, and they do it. So you have to judge these people by their actions, man. And if you were in the scriptures, these people would be easier to identify. Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahweh Shah Mashiach is come in the flesh of God. Right. Because what did we just read in 1 John 2 and 22? Who is the Antichrist? He that denieth the Father and the Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahweh Shah Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of the Antichrist. Right. And you hear it all the time. Right. So it sums it up. But I'll jump into this. Let me just pull up the scripture. 4. Okay, here we go. This is Galatians 4 and 4. But when the fullness of time was come, God sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law. Right. So we go in 1 John 4. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahweh Shah Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist. But we go to Galatians 4, right? Yahweh Shah coming to the flesh is prophecy, right? But when the fullness of time was come, that's prophecy being fulfilled, right? God, Yahweh the Father, sent forth his son, Yahweh Shah, made of a woman, made of flesh, made under the law. Why he under the law? Because he's an Israelite man. The Most High only showed his statutes, his judgments to Jacob. Only the Israelites are under the law. Only the Israelites can transgress the law because they was the only ones given the law. And why? To redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. But not to go too far off, right? Let's get back into it. Wherefore ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world. That spirit of the Antichrist, because it's not one person, right? It's not one supernatural being that's finna come out with 3 tongues and horns and a pitchfork, right? Right. It's anybody that's in opposition of this, right? Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them. Right, who are them? The spirit of the Antichrist. Because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Right, because if you in the world, you are the flesh. And it says that when you in the flesh, you are in enmity against the Most High. You are in opposition against God. Right? So, when you receive this word, these scriptures, right? In your heart, your mind, right? And the spirit is on you. You become a new creature, and you don't concern yourself with things of the world, right? You in the spirit. You walk in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. Right? Let me jump real quick. Another precept. This has become one of my favorites lately. Right? 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Right? In whom the God of this world, right? Spirit of the Antichrist, right? Well, Satan, Esau, have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who was the image of God, should shine upon them. And again, going back to the Son being made of the flesh in the image of the Most High. which we just saw in two scriptures, Galatians 4, and also again in First John, right? So you gotta pick a side. And if you're not on the side, if you're not in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, then you're in the spirit of the Antichrist. Right? Again, it's not some big three-headed being with horns coming and a pitchfork. You get what I'm saying? It's anybody. It can be your grandmother. You know, it could be your babysitter. It could be your baby sister. It could be your wife. It could be your kids. You understand what I'm saying? Brother, sister, father, whoever I didn't hit. Right? 4 and 6. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Right? Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Because the Most High is that spirit of truth. And with you in the world, the Antichrist spirit, that's the spirit of error. And this goes back to 2 Corinthians. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. Because if you don't believe, then you the Antichrist. Least the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, right? Just Christ, right? We're talking about Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who is the image of the Most High God, should shine upon them. And it's just that simple. There's a lot of, the spirit of the Antichrist is already in the world. And there's thousands, hundreds, and thousands, and maybe millions of Antichrists, and you're going to run into them all the time. If you look at America, America is one of the, I'm sorry, the Western world, right, doesn't follow any of its laws from the scriptures, right? If you go into the Islamic countries, their laws reflect the scriptures, but not over here but not in the western part of the world, right? Because we know that's the beast system, right? So of course they are not going to follow the laws of the scriptures, and you see it all the time. There's all kinds of what they call them policies and laws and agendas that are blasphemous to the scriptures and the Most High, right? But that's that beast system. And so now when you see it, you make that separation, right? Let's keep going. What I want to hit on, that, hold on, let me jump to second. That's Thessalonians. And because this is why you need to pick a side. 2 Thessalonians 2:10. Let's see where I want to start. Okay, right here. Okay. Let's start at 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall their wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. That's talking about Yahweh Shah. So who gonna get destroyed? Okay, who by Yahweh Shah? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, and this word just means adversary, with all power and signs and lying wonder, right? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of truth, that they might be saved. Right? This is why, again, it's important, right, to be occupied in these scriptures. Because if you occupied in these scriptures in this word, right, if you occupy with the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, right, you won't be deceived, right, and then you won't be among those whose coming is after the working of Satan, right? And working means image. Let's go into it, man. Let's get into it. It's working, right? working efficiency, right? Goes to the word.
Strong's G 1753. Energia. Energia.
Right. Right. And that word working efficiency. Use only of superhuman power, whether of God or of the devil. Right? So who's working, whose image are you coming after? Right? Because that's what that go. That's what that go. If you in that spirit of Antichrist and you not following, I'm gonna jump again. Don't worry, I mean it'll all come back around. 119. I'll be spelling everything wrong. Right. Beth, Psalms 119:9. Beth, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. The only way to cleanse your way, right, is take heed unto these scriptures. Otherwise, you coming after the image, right, of the world, which we read, right? You coming out, you coming in that spirit of the Antichrist. You being deceived by that Antichrist spirit, by Satan, by Esau, by the beast system. And if you on that side, understand what I'm saying? You will be getting smoked. So it was a question that was brought up to us, and we had to and it was a good question. Because it got everybody thinking. And going back to 1 John 4:6, right? We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not. Right? See, it all lines up. Right? If our gospel be hid, it is to them that are lost. Right? And again, because God have sent forth the spirit I'm jumping around too much. Right, here we go. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Right? Okay, and Yahweh Shah told us it was going to be this way. He warned us. Because you got to know who the enemy are. But then you got to know Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. You got to know these scriptures. You got to align somewhere. Either you going to be on the right hand side with Yahweh Shah and Michael and the angels and King David, or you going to be on the left hand side. Right? There was another scratch I want to hit. I think it was 2 and 18. Okay, right. See, here we go right here. 1 John 2 and 18. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now there are many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. Like I said earlier, right, there's many. They ain't just listen, the ground is not gonna crack open and some giant demon with 2 horns and the big red tail's gonna come out of here, and that's the Antichrist. Right? It's not just one man. There are many Antichrists. It's your homeboy that's talking about your third eye and that the universe and this, that, and the third, and your chakras and your home talking about some Egyptology shit. Understand what I'm saying? That's Antichrist. You understand? It's when you go and you celebrate Easter, and when you celebrate Christmas. That's the spirit of the Antichrist, right? It's when you're not taking care of your children, right? When you're not leading your household, right? When you defrauding, you know what I'm saying? Your brothers, when you bringing up false accusations, that's the spirit of Antichrist, right? When you're doing wicked things of the flesh that you know you should not be doing of the flesh, that's the spirit of the Antichrist. When you pushing certain vibrations that are in opposition of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that's the Antichrist. So I'm gonna end it there. I'm just gonna say Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.